Good morning, chess players. Just like last year, I won the first round of Daily Chess Championship with a perfect score, securing victories in all my games. This year's tournament brought a mix of challenging moments, and I'm glad to share some of the most interesting fragments of my games with you. To make it more attractive and engaging, I've presented these highlights as a series of 7 puzzles for you to solve. So let's focus on the chessboard. This puzzle is special and one of my favorites in my daily chess championship career. And the best move in this position is bishop b4. And although it was move 22 during the game, I have calculated my line till move 33, so uh, 10 moves ahead. But of course, my line is not the only one. I didn't take a decision what to do after, for example, rook escape. But now, look, let's check quickly this position. What happened after check? The problem for black in this position is that a rank is not protected. But let's look for these two rooks. We can simply override this 8 rank and there is no problem. And of course, we can also protect king with bishop f8. But here, maybe sometimes is white can play bishop f3 again with checkmate read. Here, rook e8 is the answer. Okay, let's move. Let's go back. My opponent played bishop d2. I was also thinking quickly if, but I didn't decide what to do after rook d1 or rook f1. Probably I'm the best way to complicate this position and to fight for a win is rook e2, just to exchange two rooks for a win. Now this move can be problematic for black. That's why maybe h6 is the best way to have this square for king. And for example, after bishop b2 attacking this pawn with next rook e4, I can play bishop b3, some pawn exchanges, and I believe this a pawn should be promoted soon, and it allows me to win the game. Okay, after bishop b4, here I captured this pawn on e2. My opponent answered with rook exchange, but now after check, what is important, I cannot move this rook back because now I have only one rook on e5. That's why I have to protect my king with bishop f8. And in this position, in the beginning, I was thinking that I'm simply winning because this rook is under attack, so white have to move this rook, for example, to c2, and after queen f3, in the next move, for example, let's check like rook c7, there is simple checkmate. But then I've found great move for white, bishop b4. After some minutes of calculations, I decided that okay, white is winning, and I had to find something else instead of bishop before, my bishop, black bishop before in the beginning of this line, because okay, I can capture this rook both with queen or with my rook, but here I'm losing after checkmate. Of course, I can also capture this bishop on before, but here my rook is taken by white, and okay, maybe I have some chances for a draw, but it after queen c5, but that's not what I wanted to have from this game. And then I found the greatest move in this position. Okay, here you can pause the video and think about 20 seconds what to do. Okay, the answer is rook e1. And if you succeed to find this move, it's great, because now, as you can see, the position on the board is, to put it mildly, very unusual. I had just sacrificed my rook on e1 in one move, and what's more, I forced my opponent to capture this rook. And I'm nearly sure that this rook e2 to e1 is the only winning move here. Any other move would lose. Okay, so what happened during the game? Of course, my opponent had to capture this rook, and then I can take this rook on a2. Now there is no such threat because bishop is on e1. That's why my opponent captured pawn. As you can calculate, I have queen, bishop, and 6 pawns, and my opponent has the same amount of pieces. But here, again, great move. Queen e2, attacking this bishop. Bishop cannot move to any of these three squares. That's why queen has to protect this bishop. Queen, after the queen's exchange, I have another great move, bishop b4. Proposing bishop exchange, the first option forward is to exchange this, but look after a5, b3, b7, and black is first to promote the queen after queen g2, because it was checkmate. I can give another check and capture this white pawn just right before promotion. Okay, that's why here my opponent answer with king f1, protecting this bishop. Of course, now bishop exchange is poor option, but I have d3, and there is no protection. There is no protection. In the next move, I will play d2. Let's check what happened during game. d2, and white had to sacrifice this bishop, and after maybe 5 moves, my opponent resigned. It's not obvious, but in this position, white can win a pawn in a very clever way. The answer is knight c5. The reason why this move is winning pawn is a bit funny, because we are winning pawn because this pawn on b e5 is unprotected. You can ask why. There is a6 pawn. Okay, not now, but in few moves I can promise you that this pawn will be unprotected. And let's check black options. The first one, rook d8, protecting bishop on d7, but now let's exchange some pieces. And as I said, b5 is unprotected because after bishop capture we are winning. Okay, let's check another options. During the game, an opponent withdraw bishop, but after bishop c8 again, and black cannot capture this pawn. The same after bishop e8. Of course, we don't think about about bishop e6. Okay, with this pawn structure, black has a lot of problems. So I think the best line for black was before, but here, okay, I don't have to escape immediately with my queen. I can capture this bishop after b8 3. I have bishop more. That's why black has to capture. So we can say that it's queen's exchange. Now I'm taking black rook again. And after king f8, as I said, this pawn was unprotected, but now this pawn moved to a3 and we are capturing it. The pair of bishops and one pawn more gives us significant advantage. Playing professional chess is usually not about giving as many checks as possible. However, if it brings us closer to checkmate, then why not? In such cases, let's give as many checks as we need to secure victory. So in this position, rook a1 with check, and white have the only move with bishop to 1. The next check, and once again the only move with king to c2. And now the best move in this puzzle, d3. Another check, but now white has three options. Let's check one by one. King d3, and now we're winning queen. So let's check another line, queen d3, but here is the simplest royal fork, and again you are winning queen. So if white don't want to lose their queen, they had to go with king to b3, but now queen e6, another check, and after king a3, nice check with rook, but the move was with knight. The only move is for white is bishop a2, and now rook a2 with checkmate. And let's check what happened after king a4. Again, knight c1, it's not a checkmate because white can escape to b5, but knight c3 is protecting b5 square, and after king bishop e2, it's this move, as you can see, it's not possible. So in this position we have immediately checkmate. e4 is the best move for white. We fight for the center while simultaneously we are exposing a central pawn to capture, and additionally this pawn is poisoned because after knight 4 there is bishop b5, and here of course we cannot check this knight, but after bishop c6 with check, white is winning. Black queen is under attack, so the question is where is the best place to retreat this queen, or where will the queen feel the safest? The answer is nowhere. Let's start counting. This queen is worth 9 points, while this bishop, this knight, and this rook are worth 11 points. In such case, we can confidently exchange our queen for those three pieces, and that's why I captured this bishop. After rook before, I captured knight. Of course, it's not possible to capture this pawn with queen because of rook before. That's why my opponent captured with knight. And here, after castle knight e7, I castle in the next move, and black is winning. The eternal question: short castle or long castle? King to the right or king to the left? Both options are available in this move, but castling can wait if we have a chance to gain some material. However, in this position, if I were to touch the king accidentally and had to move it, I would choose the short because it seems that king would be safer here on the king's side, and additionally the open if file allows the rook quickly to enter the game. But not cutting, but e5 is the best move. As I said, castling can wait if we have a chance to gain material. Here, my opponent answer with queen d7, attacking the bishop. After such move, black is, I think, maybe better. But very interesting line was after here after knight g4. Okay, it looks that we are winning exchange, but black has another great move. Bishop e7, capturing the queen, and knight now knight d3. And in the beginning, I thought it's enough for black, and the black is better because let's check with royal fork. Black should be okay. Also, after king e2, there is check, and here we have perpetual. After king d1, there is also the check, but here it's the answer king d2. Okay, it looks like a mistake because knight, rook, and king are on the same file, and there is knight b4 with check and also king attack, but there is no problem for us. We can capture this checking rook, and after knight c2, king c2, as we can calculate, we have rook more, so here white is winning. And now let's go back. As I mentioned, my opponent played queen d7, and now Okay, we have another choice, but of course long castle is winning because rook is now on the same file as black queen. So after, for example, queen rook f8, we can capture g6 pawn, attacking queen, and his pawn structure is not enough to protect black queen, and my opponent resigned. Here, both players already finished their development and middle game has started. And also black and white made short castle, but you have to remember that if you decide to castle, there are some very important things afterwards. And the most important is to keep your king safe. And just look at black position. This king is perfectly safe. Both pawns are on the 7th rank. Eventually we can go this pawn to h6 just to have free square on h7. And now please look at white king position. If this pawn is on g2, it's quite okay, but if we have both pawns on third rank, and especially this g3 pawn, this bishop should be here. Okay, you can say that's no problem, white can regroup, knight can jump to h2, then bishop can go through the f1 to g2 and problem solved. It's not such simple. If you look more carefully on white position, you can see that, okay, even if white knight can jump here, then okay, there is no square for this knight, and moreover now it's black is to move, so the best move is to launch attack on white's king position, f3. Okay, now it's not, of course this move is not possible, so the only move is to withdraw bishop to d1, and now we are attacking h3 pawn with an idea to give checkmate. That's why my opponent moved pawn to h4, and what happened after king h2, just to protect this pawn, there is knight g4 check, and white move back to g1, queen h3, and checkmate in the next move. That's why h4 is the best answer. Now queen g4, the same idea to give checkmate, so king h2. For one move it looks safe because black cannot go to h3, but knight c4, pretty sacrifice. After b takes this rook, bishop c8, finally this square is empty and bishop can help queen to give checkmate. Let's check, for example, any move like king, queen a4, check, and checkmate. That's all my puzzles from the first round. I hope you managed to solve some of them. Here it's me on the first place. More puzzles you can find on my chess.com blog. Goodbye.